So the months of June and July are notorious for the heavy downpour, and if you live in a city like Lagos, a coastal city like Lagos, you understand how flooded everywhere can get. Now, speaking of flooding, people have suggested the use of boats and our waterways during times like this. So it might seem like some services were listening to this as Gokada announced its proposed boat service, Go Boat, and shortly after, Uber has also announced Uber boat services, both for the city of Lagos. And Lagos residents have sort of welcomed this development with open arms, even though it's far from being realized. We'll be discussing that on TechCity Disqus, as well as other interesting topics. I'm Shaliwa Williams.
I'm Dela Rezukuji.
And I'm Dola Poinyiwadi.
Welcome to TechCity Disqus.
Welcome back to TechCity Disqus. And so taking a cue from, of course, Shaliwa's pretty nice intro, Gokada are involved already with bikes, right? Motorcycles, and it's been largely successful. Quite a number of people had kind of underestimated the success that they would record. However, it's now become an actual competition with the introduction of a few more companies in that sector. And so when they announced Go Boats, it was very interesting. While you did say that some Nigerians welcomed it with open arms, some other people were very, very critical of the idea, saying it was impossible. And I had also shared my 2 cents on our Instagram page when we posted that news. And I was of the opinion that it would be a good idea if they are able to sort out regulation issues and safety. If there is one thing that our waterways are maybe notorious for, it is boats that are maybe the boats are not even in good shape to start with. And then there's also the problem of personnel who are going to handle these boats. How professional are they? And then, of course, let's not forget that largely waterways are not exactly owned by the states, right? And that's another issue. You have people who are agberos laying claim to one thing or the other, and that can also hinder the success that Go Boats eventually, might have. And so these are a few of the concerns that I personally have. And of course, even sadly, sometime last week or so, there was a boat mishap in Lagos that claimed a few lives, and some people were injured. And in fact, I think as we speak, a few people are still missing. They're not sure where they are. And so when you think about all of these things, one is forced to kind of be on the fence, where it's like, how confident are we in Go Boats being a major thing? One question I know that Go Boats will answer is, do we need to explore other means of transportation? Absolutely. Definitely. Will boats be the next point of call? Yes. But then how much work really has gone into research, and how can they hold their own at the end of the day with this? So these are a few concerns that I personally have. I have never used a boat before, except kayaking at the sea school. Yeah, so anyway, but that's as far as I have gone with boat travel. But I'm concerned about how they will go on with this, really.
Yeah, I think some people also have complaints already about the whole operation. First, they say there's no app for it. It's just a website where you buy your tickets and all of that. And then you cannot pay on site. Say you get to the boat station or whatever they call it, and then you want to buy tickets. You cannot buy tickets. You have to buy from the web portal.
So it's like it's like a plan. You buy for a month or what?
No, you just buy. I'm not sure if it's for a month, but it's like you buy the ticket before you go for the ride. So it's like you buy for this particular ride before you go for that ride.
That's so
I'm
stressful.
like, how will it encourage the non-tech savvy guys, like the market sellers that don't really use internet and all of that? It will not encourage them, because what if they don't know how to operate these things, and you get? And then another thing, what if you don't have access to internet at the moment and you need to take a ride? What's going to happen to you? So this is one of the concerns that people already have. And then people already have complaints that even payment on the web portal is not as smooth as needed. So for the fact that payment on the web portal is not smooth, and then on site there's no payments, how will it work? I just feel like the whole Go Boats thing is a good idea, but they still have a lot of work to do on this. But then it's not yet up to a month, so we're expecting a lot.
Well, I think the more, just like the e-commerce space or the bike hailing services space, the more people venture into this, the more the competition, and the more people can learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
So as GoBots announced its arrival, and people got excited and everything. Now with Uber coming in, we'll be forced to check some of these lapses or concerns that people have, and then it just gives room for competition for them to improve each other. But then the Lagos State waterways is something that Lagosians have been hoping forever to be explored.
Yes.
I mean, Lagos is about, I think, like 27% water, of the landmass. So like it's really, really important. And if you look at the places where Lagos has a lot of water, it's mostly the island, which is notorious for traffic. So it really needs to be explored. And I hope they can do something novel about it. It's one thing for you to announce something that sounds novel. It's another thing to actually execute and make it work. But going through it, I was going through the Lagos State Waterways Authority because like, what do they say about this? Do they just allow the private partnership? What is going to be their role? And Lagos State Waterways is saying that it's charged with responsibility for coordinating and managing reforms necessary for the long-term growth and development of water transportation in Lagos State, including the granting of ferry licenses and concessions for the operations of ferry routes and terminals to the private sector. So basically, it seems like they have more of the overseer role. So I'm not sure they oversight functions exactly. So I really don't know their role in it.
I'm going to say that to an extent, GoBoats might have been too hasty in announcing this. Maybe they could have just done a little bit more homework before now announcing, right? Now, in the example of Uber has done this in Egypt. They've done this in Croatia as well. So I'm thinking, and maybe this is the edge that quote unquote foreign companies have over us. There's that thing where there's a bit more due diligence that they carry out before deciding to go ahead with this. So I'm forced to think Uber while it may not even seem like they are trying to learn from GoBoat's mistakes or whatever, they might have studied the market a bit more. But that does not mean that they will succeed eventually because Uber has a lot of issues right now. But then again, that definitely it encourages one to say, okay, let's see exactly what they have. And they have only announced, we don't know what the actual details are just yet, and our fingers are crossed on that. But of course, like I said before, and of course, like you have mentioned as well, it's about pushing the boundaries, right? So how farther can we go each time? If we're going to start using boats and all of that, how can we encourage people to also come on board? But I think that it would also behove the government to fully back this, because if they don't have the full support of the government, I don't think it's going to work so much, because this was also an issue that they had even with their Gokada as well. There were issues at some point in time about where their bikes could ply and all these issues. So I think that if the government is keen on these PPPs, it will go a very long way in making this easier for people. They can start getting agents, maybe who will sell tickets on site, and all of that. It's going to be so beautifully synchronized. But if government is acting like, well, we don't care, we're just up here, we're just going to give you a license, and then whatever happens, on site is up to you, that will be very discouraging. And people are not going to really, really embrace this perhaps as much as they can. So, I don't know. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm just hoping it works, because the Lagosians urgently need an alternative means of transportation. We spend so many hours commuting to work to and fro, and everyone just seems stuck. And I was reading something that said that was talking about traffic congestion and how some companies had to relocate because of the loss of productivity. And I saw that Dangote even released the report saying something about losing 2 billion naira yearly due to traffic congestion.
I saw a picture on Twitter. It was midnight, I think, or 1:30 a.m. Ibrahim Adesanya. There was terrible traffic on the road at past 12 midnight. And those same people will get back on the road at 4:30. Excuse me. What time will they get home? Sleep, rest, take a bath, and then get back? Like, it's so bad. So I think definitely if we have a lot more means of transportation, a lot more alternatives, it will go a very long way. Our train